Napoleon Bonaparte, one of history's most iconic figures, rose from humble beginnings to become a powerful military leader and ruler of France. His life was marked by ambitious conquests, innovative reforms, and eventual downfall. In this video, we will explore the fascinating journey of Napoleon, from his early years and rise to power to his military campaigns, governance reforms, and ultimate exile. Napoleon Bonaparte was born on the 15th of August 1769 in Ajaccio, Corsica, a French-controlled island in the Mediterranean. He was the second of 8 children in the Bonaparte family of Italian descent. His father Carlo Bonaparte was a lawyer and political figure, while his mother, Letizia Ramolino, was a formidable matriarch. The family experienced financial challenges, but they instilled the importance of education in their children. Growing up in a tumultuous time for Corsica, which had recently passed from Genoese to French control, Napoleon was deeply influenced by his surroundings. His early childhood was marked by a strong sense of identity and an awareness of the complex socio-political dynamics of his native island. It was in this environment that his ambition began to take root. At the age of 9, Napoleon was sent to mainland France to attend the military academy at Brienne-le-Château. The experience was challenging for the young boy, who faced discrimination due to his Corsican accent and Italian heritage. Despite these challenges, he excelled in mathematics and military studies, showcasing a keen intellect and leadership potential. Napoleon's time at Brienne significantly shaped his character. He developed a passion for military history and a fascination with great conquerors such as Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. Additionally, the bullying he endured contributed to his resilience and sparked a strong desire to affirm his capabilities, both to his contemporaries and to the wider world. In 1784, at the age of 15, Napoleon transferred to the prestigious École Militaire in Paris. Here, he completed his education in just 1 year, specializing in artillery. His military training laid the groundwork for his future career as an officer in the French army. By 1785, Napoleon was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the artillery. His early military career coincided with the turbulent events of the French Revolution. The revolution, which began in 1789, dismantled the old regime and redefined French society. Young Napoleon found himself rising through the ranks, quickly distinguishing himself as a capable strategist and leader during the revolutionary turmoil. As the revolution progressed, Napoleon took part in several key military campaigns. He gained recognition with his success in suppressing royalist uprisings in Paris in 1795, where he used cannon fire to decisively clear the streets. This victory placed him in the spotlight and earned him the title of general. Napoleon's notoriety grew during the Italian campaign of 1796–97. Commanding the French army of Italy, he led his troops to a series of stunning victories against the Austrians and their allies. This campaign was marked by brilliant tactics and audacious maneuvers, solidifying Napoleon's reputation as a military genius. In 1798, Napoleon embarked on a controversial campaign in Egypt, aiming to establish French influence in the region and block British trade routes to India. This expedition, though ultimately unsuccessful militarily, was notable for its cultural and scientific undertakings, including the discovery of the Rosetta Stone. The political landscape in France remained unstable following the revolution, leading to the establishment of the Directory, a government that struggled to maintain control. In November 1799, Napoleon seized the opportunity to overthrow the Directory through a coup d'état known as the Coup of 18 Brumaire. This calculated move saw Napoleon assume power as one of 3 consuls in the newly formed consulate. In spite of the shared power, he rapidly took action to consolidate his authority, skillfully navigating his way into a role of substantial influence over the French government. His rise heralded a new era in French politics. After the coup, Napoleon and his allies effectively dismantled the Directory, establishing a new government known as the Consulate. In this system, Napoleon was appointed first consul, granting him authoritative control over the administration and military. The consulate sought to stabilize the government and bring order to post-revolutionary France. Napoleon implemented significant domestic reforms that laid the groundwork for modern France. The establishment of the Bank of France, educational reforms, and the construction of infrastructure, such as roads and bridges, were pivotal in modernizing the state. His approach to governance was pragmatic and aimed at creating stability. The Napoleonic Code, introduced in 1804, was particularly impactful. It articulated principles of equality before the law and the protection of property rights, and it influenced legal systems worldwide. Such reforms not only solidified Napoleon's authority, but also won him popular support among different social classes in France. On the 18th of May, 1804, the Senate officially declared him emperor, a title that he would take up formally later that year. This transformation was met with mixed reactions. While some celebrated the restoration of order, others viewed it as a betrayal of revolutionary principles. Nevertheless, Napoleon's ambition was clear. He intended to establish a formidable empire. On the 2nd of December 1804, Napoleon had his coronation at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. In a bold move, he crowned himself Emperor of the French, signaling his independence from the papacy. The event was quite the spectacle, underlining his power and prestige. The event marked not just a change in title, but a significant shift in the French political landscape. Napoleon envisioned a new empire that would solidify French dominance in Europe and establish a legacy that would last for generations. Following his coronation, Napoleon engaged in a series of military campaigns known as the Napoleonic Wars. His mission was to expand French land and influence across Europe. The battles of Austerlitz and Jena Auerstedt were pivotal victories, solidifying his dominance in Europe. Despite early successes, these wars also sowed the seeds of future dissent. Napoleon's ambitions frustrated other nations and formed coalitions against him, leading to prolonged conflict across the continent. In an effort to cripple Britain economically, Napoleon implemented the Continental System in 1806, aiming to ban trade between Britain and continental Europe. This embargo was intended to isolate Britain and diminish its economic power. However, the system faced significant challenges, not only leading to smuggling but also causing discontent among European nations reliant on British goods. The failure to enforce the continental system effectively contributed to rising tensions within his empire and with allies. In 1812, Napoleon launched his most ambitious and disastrous campaign, the invasion of Russia. Motivated by Tsar Alexander I's withdrawal from the continental system, Napoleon led a grand army of over 600,000 men into the vast Russian expanse. The Russian military employed scorched-earth tactics, retreating and destroying resources, which left Napoleon's army vulnerable to starvation and the harsh winter. This ill-fated campaign marked a critical turning point, leading to the devastating loss of much of his forces. Following the disastrous Russian campaign, Napoleon faced increasing resistance from coalition forces. By 1814, enemies from across Europe, including Russia, Prussia, and Austria, successfully invaded France, leading to his abdication in April of that year. Napoleon's first exile was to the island of Elba, where he was given a small amount of autonomy. He spent nearly a year there, reflecting on his downfall while plotting his return to power. In March 1815, Napoleon escaped from Elba and returned to France, rallying supporters and reclaiming his position as emperor for a brief period known as the 100 Days. His return reignited tensions across Europe and prompted the Seventh Coalition to emerge against him. The most notable confrontation during this period was the Battle of Waterloo in June 1815. Despite initial successes, Napoleon's forces were ultimately defeated by the British and Prussian armies, leading to his final abdication. Following his defeat at Waterloo, Napoleon was exiled to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic Ocean. This location was chosen to prevent any further escape attempts and remove him from European affairs. During his time on St. Helena, Napoleon reflected on his life, wrote memoirs, and engaged in discussions with his captors. The isolation and harsh conditions significantly affected his health and well-being. The combination of isolation, nostalgia for his former glory, and deteriorating health put a strain on him, both psychologically and physically, as he faced the reality of his situation. His final days were marked by a sense of resignation, as he reflected on his tumultuous life and the empire he had built and lost. He died on May 5, 1821. Initially, Napoleon was buried in a simple grave on St. Helena, but in 1840, his remains were returned to France, where he was interred at Les Invalides in Paris with great honor. His return highlighted his enduring legacy and importance to French history. The site of his burial became a national monument and is visited by millions each year, reflecting both admiration and controversy regarding his empire, ideals, and tactics.